Okay, so let's talk about this field. So
Field C-suite.
It's a field C-suite sales team.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you have a digital transformation evangelist.
Correct. You have a digital transformation evangelist whose primary job is to focus on getting a customer to talk about
Right.
their actual business, what they actually do, as opposed to the job in front of them.
So literally, it's somebody that just keeps a conversation going.
Yeah, keeps the conversation going, but because you've got somebody that's in a role where they talk to multiple customers, they can challenge, like we had with Laura, right? So they can then challenge somebody and say,
Well, what about this? What
right,
about this?
what about this? Or I've talked to some others in the industry, and I see that they're potentially looking at doing these kinds of things,
Right.
or in industries tangentially related. They've talked about these things. Are you actually looking at, how do you think these are going to impact your business? Like we talked with our customer at VMworld, right? So, how are you guys looking at integrating a loyalty app into driving?
Right.
Driving
Well, I think,
additional revenue?
and then the concern there was then, okay, so I think IT gets it because I remember the pushback that we were getting there was that IT was like, okay, yeah, that's a great idea, but how do we get our CIO to start selling that up the flagpole, or how do we get?
Depends who you talk to in IT. Some
Well,
people
true.
IT are going to look at it like that doesn't have anything to do with my job.
Right. Well, but I think okay. So, but from a sales perspective, it's also the pushback. I don't make that decision.
Right. Which kind of like with the customer we had in SFO, where we're like, well, then let me talk to that team.
Right.
So you mind if I get a name to talk to that team? I'd really like to just understand what they're doing. I think our companies can partner well together, and I'd like to have a sit down.
So I still think the message there is, we take that third tenet of retain IT talent, and we go. It's actually what we were talking about with that customer. It was like, I get you guys. I understand what you're trying to accomplish. So from an IT administration and an IT management perspective, I get what you're saying, and I'm not going to blow that up. I'm not going to screw that up. In fact,
I want to take a load off of you.
I'm going to be your advocate on the way up the flagpole. What is the proper way to get me up the flagpole? So that would be.
Are your voices? So we have a transformation office. Great. Would you mind putting me in touch with them? I'd like to have a conversation with them. I would like to be an advocate for ideas that you have.
Okay.
Partially from outside the organization.
So does that mean that we're creating that too? We're creating that, not funnel, but repository.
Yes.
Where are all your ideas? Because you guys know this company better than I do. I'm coming in, brand
Right.
new. Where do you have, what are your ideas? And, the loyalty app they jumped on.
Oh yeah. But it's like, that customer in San Francisco. Give me that name. So you guys have all these ideas. You have things you want to do.
Right.
But you're here in the food chain. They're here in the food chain.
So is that something that we want to sell to an organization?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, so if we think of the three tenets, get to market quicker, increase profitability, and retain IT talent. So that would be under the retain IT talent.
Mm-hmm.
Or retain talent. Actually, it's
Period.
retain talent.
And to me, it goes into investigate, report, and arbitrate.
Okay.
Those are my three things. I say when you have a strategy discussion, that's what you do.
Okay.
Investigate. I'm going to talk to you. You actually do the work.
Right.
Please give me the name of the person upstream that is asking you to do these things.
So what's typically the pushback though from that? I don't want to put you in front of so and so because.
Right.
So like, one pushback I got was, Esco, I love your idea, but and you're saying that you don't want IT to pay for it. Thank you for that. Okay, great. You like my idea. IT is gonna end up doing it, and you're saying IT doesn't have to pay for it. So that's all music to my ears. but then I don't want to put you
What's
in front
my
of
political
that.
clout?
Yeah, well, it's not that. It's I don't want to put you in front of marketing. Marketing doesn't speak ESCO, and I'm like,
Marketing does.
I was like, I don't think you know what ESCO speaks.
Right.
So, and I think that's why this C-suite
and
team,
that's why you have a field C-suite. Exactly.
exactly. I think this C-suite team needs to be able to go, okay, guys, it's not just ESCO. It's us,
yeah.
and this is what we do. This is the thing that we do, is we have
Yes.
those conversations.
We could wrap it in the business plan is you want to sell digital transformation. We need a field digital transformation office. It's a tiger team. It's a worldwide. It's a
Okay, so field digital transformation
yes, office
team.
Team. We can call it office team, whatever, right? And that's every time I've talked through it with people, I've always said it needs to be a team,
Yeah.
right? It needs to be a DTE. It needs to be a field CTO.
Right.
It needs to be a field CMO, a field CFO, and it needs to be for want of a word, a chief visionary officer,
Yes.
right? Who's somebody that's out there going, what if? Because if you want to, so I don't know what they paid their marketing. I just came up with their new slogan.
Glad we're recording this.
Lenovo, helping you push the boundaries of what's possible.
Why does it have to be Lenovo?
Well, you know,
No.
pushing the boundaries.
So have you seen these new ads that are coming out? So when you start watching like Squawk or those types of programs, they don't even talk. The company is like after 30 seconds
There's
at
a
the
company.
end at the bottom, and they're pushing the envelope to just draw you in and really get you interested. And there's been a couple of ads, 30, 90 seconds, and I was just like, yes, I want that. Oh shit, it's IBM.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what I think it should be. And so if we were to say, so let's package that up. Let's think about it from this perspective. So we've got this Panthers event, or we've got this Top Golf event, or whatever.
And we bring folks in.
And how do we bring folks in? Not Lenovo customers, not our business partner customers. How do we bring folks in? If I were to put like literally an ad in the paper, not that anyone does that anymore, but if I were to put an ad in the paper, how could I
tweet
get
it on LinkedIn or
yeah?
whatever?
So how do I get
whatever,
people
however
to
it
show up to this? For
Who do
$100. So check
Okay.
this out. It's self-funding. For $100, you come to this event. You'll play golf. You'll get your booze. You get some snacks, and we're going to talk you through what a digital transformation process looks like. We're going to balance it on IT. We're going to balance it on marketing. We're going to balance it from a financial perspective, and then we're going to help you
talk to each other.
talk to each other.
We're going to review the three fundamental tenets. So as IT, we generally get focused on implementation. Traditional IT in a company is focused on implementation.
And security.
Implementation,
Right.
not vision.
Right. Tactical.
There are generally organizations within IT that focus on vision and transformation. Let us help you.
So okay, and let's play the other side of the coin. IT is hindered by what? What prevents IT from doing that? Doing whatever that is.
Well, that goes back to, I love the Phoenix Project, right? That goes back to the work, the four types of work.
Okay. Right.
You know?
Right. Unplanned work is the bitch.
Unplanned work is the bitch. Mm-hmm. Well, I actually have in my presentation, I actually say, so there's planned work, there's unplanned work, and I actually go in and I say, like unplanned work, that's the business shooting itself, that's IT shooting itself in the foot. There's this, and I actually take the concept of this kind of work and I put it in a simple word. I think I actually have it on my laptop, right? Where it's like, actually I'm going to pull it
We're
up.
not using laptops.
But I can't remember it.
It doesn't matter.
What's
Paint the
basically
picture.
it's how the business transforms itself, how IT responds to the transformation. It's how the business it's visionary projects from the business. It's projects for IT to support itself.
Mm-hmm.
It's fixing problems caused by IT.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's the
Other stuff.
off the reservation shit.
Right. Okay. So while you were talking through that, I started thinking, it was like, well, you just talked about one project.
I'm talking about the business.
Okay, you're right. The business with one visionary project, the digital transformation project. What if I had a way to sell 6 of them at a time?
And that's the whole concept. That's what I'm talking about. That's the whole concept. It's
Right.
do you have a skunk works inside your business thinking about do you investigate, report, arbitrate? Anytime I've gone in and I've done a strategic assessment and I've started asking for multiple people to sit in, I do my investigation,
Mm-hmm.
I listen to what they say, I ask questions,
Right.
I write things down.
Right.
After I write things down, I go, okay, this is what I heard.
Right.
And then I arbitrate. And by arbitrate I mean, well, that's not what we do in marketing. I'm sorry, that's what you told me. And IT goes, well, yeah, that's the way it looks like to us. And then I start having them talk to each other. And then I facilitate communication. And from the communication, you basically created a brainstorming session.
Absolutely.
By facilitating the communication.
Right. So that's the digital transformation evangelist's job.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the visionary's job would be what?
Will be to research your industry
Mm-hmm.
and say, what if?
Okay.
You're in pharmaceuticals. You're in pharmaceuticals. I'm in. I build cars.
Okay.
What if I could figure out a way, as a visionary perspective? So there's actually this great series I used to watch.
Oh, I got to say this before. Hang on. Put a rubber band on that one. You know how there's those DUI blowing the thing before it starts kind of thing?
Should we have that before we have these conversations?
Well, no, absolutely not. Because what if you could do that for heart rate? What if you could do that for blood sugar? What if you could do that for?
That's what the Apple Watch kind of does, right?
Well, yeah, but then that's actually something that comes up on the screen. Hey, your heart rate's elevated. What's going on? Or like, people that have narcolepsy, or people that have heart attacks, right? While they're driving. If I knew that the heart rate was in the arrhythmia that basically signifies a heart attack, then I automatically call 911. Your phone's already connected to the thing. Mm-hmm. And then I already have GPS going because you're running a Maps application.
Right, unlike the thing that guy was pitching.
What do you mean?
His Alexa thingy.
Oh.
At VMworld. Give him a Motorola. You were there. Give him a Motorola smartwatchy type thing.
Okay.
Connected to the Motorola, the Alexa thing, and then you have a complete end-to-end.
Right. Oh, yeah. Okay, no, yeah.
But I'm thinking of. But what I was thinking, there was this guy. It's Connections. It's the name of the series. See if you can find it. Okay. This guy would say, "I'm going to tell you how the invention of purple dye led to." I'm going to explain to you how the invention of purple dye led to silicon-based computer chips.
Yes.
And he would walk you through. To me, that's the chief visionary officer.
Okay.
I'm going to explain to you how what this manufacturing plan is doing with IoT and process engineering, how that can apply to what you do on your day-to-day business.
Okay.
Now, part of that is them sitting there and listening and interviewing and asking questions. But the other half of that is, well, what if we took that same concept of IoT process and procedure and IoT devices and applied that to the way that you're actually managing your labs?
Yeah.
What if I could tell you when your lab machine was out of calibration? What if I could tell you when your batch of whatever was done and send a request to a remote data system to upload your results so I could reduce your data bandwidth?
That's a freaking SMTP trap.
It is.
But no lab guy would ever know that.
The lab guy would go there to load the samples.
Right.
The lab guy would go there to look at anomalies.
Right. So wait a second. So now you're saying that we
I'm
could
going to reduce costs.
so we could actually stand up some AI that knows what anomalies to look at.
Mm-hmm. And then say, hey, human being, I need you to go talk to that.
Right. Or hey, I found no anomalies here, but here are your peaks and valleys. So you told me these 5 anomalies, but you also told me that I need to look for 5 peaks and valleys outside of this, just in case, because that's be the next thing that you check in. Well, then those 5 peaks and valleys create another 5 anomalies. So now I have 10 anomalies that I'll look at. That's AI. That's all AI, right?
AI ML. Well, it's ML, but yes, right? I mean, if you look at where a lot of these assembly lines are going.
So what's the difference between AI and ML? It's like the same thing. I mean, we just split hairs.
No, not, so ML is basically I program a specific I program an application to do a specific thing. I build a data set, I train that data set, and then I give it and then I produce this algorithm and I run that algorithm on the inferencing endpoint. And the ML basically all it does is it says boom, boom, boom. It's machine learning. It's very narrowly defined.
Agreed. So
Right.
what's AI different? How's AI different?
So AI has a lot of self-referential feedback. So like, how did they teach a computer to beat somebody at Go or StarCraft? That's AI because it's self-referential. It teaches itself. It learns from everything that it does. So it's more organic. It's a more organic method for learning.
So wait a second. Well, what's root cause analysis?
So root cause analysis is depending on who you talk to.
Okay, my notebook that dropped the camera feed and dropped the speakers.
Mm-hmm.
But the audio still works. And obviously the computer recognizes the camera's not on. So
depending on how far down the road you go, it's either ML.
Mm-hmm.
Think of ML as brute force.
So the ML broke because I ran the Microsoft diagnostics on it.
No. So ML is narrowly defined, right? So ML is brute force.
Right.
I throw processing power at this algorithm on this data set that I've written it to, and it's a hammer.
Right.
AI is still a hammer, but it's the difference between trying to create a cut diamond with a sledgehammer and create a cut diamond with a diamond pick and a tap. So ML would say, here's all the potential solutions that you have. You might want to walk through these based on everything
But that's
you've said.
literally what Microsoft did.
That's ML.
Okay. Agreed.
You know, AI is, tell me about your symptoms. Run this. What's happened? Have you applied these patches? It's this whole, but it learns, right? So every time, because it has every time you literally,
Mm-hmm.
when you go, click on all the pictures of bridges. You are actually training Microsoft, Amazon, Google. You are training their AI ML, their AI engines.
Yeah, because you do it in a certain order, and it remember that order.
Well, no, because you're creating a self. You are training it for them. You are being you are doing work for them on an unpaid basis.
Oh, for sure. Okay, yeah, I get that.
Right.
So, wow, we digress.
Self-referential loops.
This is where we need the instant replay. Okay, where did we go off on this tangent?
Where did we go from here?
Okay, so hang on. I really like this C-suite thing, and I really do think it'll sell. But I think the problem is
It needs to be in a geo, because I think
well, I think you're going to go down. Damn, get out of my fucking head, dude.
I think it needs to be
can't
in a
say
geo
fucking.
because
Sorry, I can't say fucking.
every geo has unique challenges. Now there's commonalities across businesses, but I think every geo has unique challenges in terms of how they address their population. A perfect example. I can't remember the name of the company. They were a rental. They decided they were going to rent cars in Japan.
Did the logistics guy ever come back and talk to us?
The who?
The logistics guy? He never did.
Logistics guy.
Like day one, we had somebody come up, and he was a logistics company, and we were like just blowing him up.
He did.
He did come back. Okay.
He did come back. RNL. Yes, he did. Yes. He talked with Baker about VDI.
Okay.
Specific, which
That's not the right fit for him.
that's something I need to work on with John and my team. But that's
What do you mean? We sniffed out that that's not the right fit. Yeah, we needed to show him all that, so that way he could feel comfortable. But we were actually digging deeper.
I need to work with my team to, and this is a John thing, right? I need to start training my team to think, to lay layers of strategic planning on top of their tactical thinking. Because my team is deep SMEs, right? They're very like Baker is VMware. But if I start bringing Baker in, and he's going to be focused on the VMware problem,
Right.
as opposed to what's actually. He's going to diagnose that you have a headache, you feel dizzy. He's going to work on that, and he's going to get to that when, he's going to diagnose you. Oh, you have.
He's the ML.
Yeah.
He's totally the ML.
Yeah. Right. Oh, well, you have this thing caused by lead poisoning. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Right. I think that you have lead poisoning. I'm the doctor. I'm treating you. Well, that's great. You're treating me for lead poisoning, and I'm going home. And guess what? I live in Flint, Michigan.
Yeah.
Lead poisoning happens to be the problem, but it also happens to be a symptom of the larger problem. I need to teach my team to think.
AI.
Right. To think that level above.
Right.
Right. What's the actual issue that you're actually talking about?
Right.
Because it's like when I was a therapist, right? It's like the thing that somebody comes in to talk to you about, very rarely
It came from somewhere.
it's very rarely the problem.
Oh, for sure. Because it came from somewhere.
Right.
You ended up with it, and you ended up admitting to it.
Right.
So we'll fix that. But now
What's
we
the
also
real
need
problem?
to fix out how we got there. All right. So I like your idea of geo. You're getting to where I was going.
And then what I would like to do, so if we were given the opportunity to create this, I would like to have a geo-focused team,
Okay.
maybe two. Start with, I think, one to start with, maybe one in EMEA, one in North America,
Okay.
and then on a periodic basis, every half, let's say, and we should flip-flop. I think that we should have a meeting of the field C-suites and say, this is what we did here, this is what we did here, because they're going to be, and I think 100%, we need to take our customer segment, and it needs to be that like 500 employees to 5,000 employees.
Agreed. Yeah, I like that segment. Okay, so while you were talking, I spaced. But here's what I spaced on. We talked about this last night. What if, Mr. Customer, you come to an EBC, blah, 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 we'll buy steak dinner, you get to hear about Lenovo, da, 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 da. Yeah, exactly.
But now we want you to meet with the field C-suite team.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Okay.
I'm actually going to say, I'm going to give you all of that,
For free.
but I'm also going to guarantee that I will find a digital transformation idea for you. You
Yeah.
have to meet with the field C-suite team. Okay, and that's how we'll get there. But we got to teach you what Lenovo is first, and then we're going to sit you down with the field C-suite. Okay.
So the caveat with that is though, right? The caliber of the people coming in. I can't meet with engineers. I need to meet with architects. I need to meet with directors, and ideally,
So now you're actually you're digging in where I was a step ahead of you, Mr. Customer. I'm gonna bring you in. You have to bring.
I want you to bring your internal customer.
Yes.
Tell me
And
who your
then
internal
and then I
customer
have
is.
sessions for your internal customer. I have a marketing session. I have a CFO session. I have a COO session. So yes, fine. Send all your IT guys. They're gonna love Lenovo. Yeah, right. Okay, but I'm also gonna teach your CMO, your CFO, your COO, and then I'm gonna teach. All the while, it's gonna be all about what's the next thing. What's the next thing? It's yes, I'm gonna check the box. I'm gonna tell you about our servers. I'm gonna tell you about our HRIA. I'm gonna tell you about our support. I'm gonna tell you about fine. We're gonna tell you about all those kinds of things, but we're gonna tell it to you appropriately. I'm gonna tell the CFO why he cares. I'm gonna tell him what it is. I'm gonna tell him why he cares. I'm gonna tell the CMO what it is, why he cares. And then at the end of the day, the whole time I'm gonna be putting birdseed.
So here's okay. I got it. So here's your 6 to 8 hour agenda
Yes.
for the IT department. You have 4 hours, and you know what you review? You review technology. Maybe
Right.
you have 3 hours of technology,
Yeah.
and then we have 2 hours of whiteboarding with the IT department.
Okay.
And then what we do during that time, the CFO is going to give it a half day.
I'm in.
Right?
I'm in. I know what you're going. I know
We're
where
going
you're
to
going.
talk about how is technology transforming your industry. And then we bring them into the IT department, and they can talk about everything they heard in the context with the IT people.
And then we just sponsor just a free for all at the end. Okay. And then the C-suite team a week later comes back and goes, "Here's your digital transformation project."
We want to come on site, and we want to present to you.
And and here's the partners that you're going to work with. Here's the project. Here's how much money it's going to make you. Here's how much it cost you. Nah.
No. Here's the project that here's the project you agreed was an issue. Or here's the project that during your collaborative session with Lenovo and each other, you agreed was something that was small enough to tackle up front
Yes.
that you'd like to transform.
Yes.
Here is the partners that we want to bring on board to
Right.
help you make that transformation.
Okay.
Here is the Lenovo plan to help you get there, and that includes software services support,
Okay. But hang on.
software services systems.
But hang on. So Challenger Customer is a bug that talks to doing that. Okay, so here's the idea. Let me evolve it for you.
Okay.
Fine. The guys at Bolero Group, perfect example.
Yep.
The IT guys love me.
They won't give you access to the CIO.
No, they'll sponsor me up to the CIO, but they don't want me to skip that level, right? Okay, so
Don't want to do a skip.
fine. So they'll coach me into the CIO. So I've won them, and now I've won the CIO. But the CIO is a CIO. He's not necessarily, and I think they said he had a networking. No, he has a POS focus. That's where he came from. So he's a
Okay.
POS. So how do I then take that and parlay it into what the business wants? Because the business is totally separate. I mean, this guy's expertise is in POS, which is great. We totally use that. But then, what is the business saying? So it's not that you win these people over, and this is actually where we make mistakes now. So those of us that are challenger sellers, like me, I'm a challenger seller. I'm not I'm not helping address what the business wants, which is why this C-suite thing is so freaking cool. Because I'm going to sit down, I'm going to get all these ideas, and then I'm going to challenge the business or meet the business with the challenge. It's not about winning one person, it's about winning the business in the direction the business wants to go. And so that's actually the product that we're putting out there. Mr. Business, I don't think you know what's out there. I've heard the fundamentals, I've heard the tactical, I've heard the delivery, I've heard the cost, but here's your market.
I'm selling you
The addressable market.
I'm selling you this. That's where you want to go.
Right.
I'm selling you this, and now I'm going to come in and I'm going to talk to you about how to get there.
Yeah. That lines up with your business and then some. Because it's not about lining up with your business, it's the and then some that you want to buy.
Right.
You never want to go to Vegas to play cards. You want to go to Vegas
To win money.
to win.
Yeah.
Or what Vegas has taught us through all the
Hoping to
proliferation.
win.
Vegas has taught us that, wait, what if you go for an experience? And now
And what have I said? That is what that is what we sell. That is
Yes.
what hospitality sells. Hospitality doesn't sell a room. Hospitality sells a fantasy.
But but here's the
Okay, right,
thing.
you're sorry.
No, I agree. But here's the thing, though. So ESCO thinks, oh, you know what? I'm going to take $1,000 to Vegas when I go for a 3, 4, 5 days, right?
Come back with $1 million.
No, I don't come back with that. I know I'm not going to come back with $1 million.
Maybe I come back with 2.
No,
You come back with 5.
I'm going to pay for an experience. That $1,000 is an experience. It may be plus, it may be minus, but I've already factored out that $1,000 to be
Okay.
the experience. And that's actually what Vegas has taught us over these decades that Vegas has been proliferating itself. It's not, you're going to Vegas for an experience. It's going to cost. If gambling's your
it's gonna
thing,
cost.
Yeah. If gambling's your thing, fine. Figure it out. To do it smart, figure it out and understand. You lose your $1,000, you're done. You lose your $100 a day, you're done. You use your $25 a day, you're done. Whatever that number is, you paid for the experience. It may be a 5-minute experience, it may be an hour experience, it may be an all-day experience. But then, but wait a second, my wife doesn't gamble. Okay, wait, does she shop? Okay, great. Now we've got these shops. And that's the experience. Wait, my wife doesn't shop, she likes shows. We've got
the
shows.
experience.
So it's all about the experience. And we go into Vegas knowing that there's going to be a cost. And
So
that's what we have to sell.
Here's how you hook the CIO. Here's how you hook your CIO.
My CIO or my CEO?
Your CIO for your customer.
Okay.
Because what is his background? POS.
POS.
We want to help you grow revenue.
Absolutely.
We want to help you grow. We want to help turn your organization from a place that's associated with this activity to a place associated with this experience. We want it to be Cheers.
Yeah.
But don't go to Cheers because the booze is the best and the food is the best. They go because it's the experience.
Mm-hmm.
And millennials, why are traditional retail, why is it failing? Chain restaurants, why are they failing? Because that market segment, which has the most liquid cash at this point, will pay for an experience.
They will.
So, I want to help you create an experience that draws your customer segments in. And how do I know what drives that experience? 2 things.
Okay.
You're an IT guy. Data.
Yep.
How do I get that data? How do I have tangible facts that tell me what that is? How do I have tangible facts?
Customers?
Your POS system.
What time of day, how much money per transaction. Oh, did you sign in with our app yet? We have a loyalty program. All right, pausing there.